What's up, YouTube? This is Josh. I just got to watching a video that one of my brothers, Beckham, made, and it was revolving around drag and transitioning and the whole male illusion community. And I kind of wanted to follow up on that because I thought that he made some really good points that it's like always been the elephant in the room, and nobody really talks about, and it needs to be heard from this side as well. I mean, I've been doing drag for over 10 years, and I've done pageantry for about 5 years in the US of A MI system. And when I came into the system, I already was out as trans. I hadn't started my physical transition yet. And I mean, everybody knew for the most part. It wasn't like a secret I was keeping from anyone. And I mean, US of A is trans inclusive. And the system has always made it known that it's trans inclusive, but it's always been this elephant in the room at the same time. Like, you know, if I'm transitioning to be a male, how is that male illusion? You know what I mean? And I guess I see it from both sides of the coin. Because, I mean, I have friends, sorry, it's allergy season. It's about a bitch. I have friends who have been in the system who are girls. I mean, as girl can be. My little rock connection. And I can see it from their side of the coin, you know, that is it a transformation? Is it the illusion at that point? And then I see the greatest queens we've ever known that have the same issues. You know, they've transitioned, had work done, and I think so much of it has to do because the king community as a whole is relatively still in its new infant phase, and nobody really knows what to say, if they can say it, or how to say what they truly feel. Because I always felt like it was this elephant in the room that if you had an issue with it, you know, you were supposed to just walk out, you know, we don't want nothing to do with it. But at the same time, I'm like, it is something that needs to be addressed, you know? Do I feel like now that I've been on testosterone for 5 months and I'm growing a facial hair and my voice is dropped and my weight is distributed, do I feel like I can go and outperform other people? No, not because of testosterone. I mean, I wasn't on a lick of testosterone. I was chubby, had a gut for Jesus and all this other stuff, and came within 6 points of a national crown. Just saying. I've made top 12. I've done all these things, and I never had testosterone then. I mean, I beat contestants who had transitioned. I don't think that transitioning teaches you how to have talent. And if that came across as rude, I'm sorry, but that's the only way to put it. You know? It can't teach you how to have a stage presence. It can't teach you how to control an audience. It can't tell you how to have good taste in fabrics and colors. It can't do that. What it does is make you feel like a whole person inside. And if other contestants feel that, you know, well, you don't have to bind because you've had top surgery. You don't have to have facial hair. I know trans friends who have competed in US of A who still put on facial hair to this day and add to their face, and have had top surgery and had judges' sheets tell them that they needed to do a better job of binding. I don't even know what to say to that. That comment still blows my mind to this day, but whatever. So when I started taking testosterone, when I left US of A, MI, at the end of, not this past March, but the March before that, I walked away. And I mean, transition wasn't the only reason I walked away. I mean, this is expensive, and I want to get married. I'm getting married at the end of this year. I knew that I wanted to start my transition and get on with my life, because unfortunately it's very hard to do both those things. And it's not fair to Josh and Amanda to pour money and time and energy and days off and vacation time into Joshua K. Mann's, sorry, that sounded like something hit the floor. Hope it's not a bug, because I'm not that kind of butch, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to do that anymore. So I made the conscious effort to, even in St. Louis where I live, I stopped doing shows for two reasons. Number one, because I wanted to focus on my transition and my family. And I think that that's really important, especially at this point in my life, that not just my family here in my house with my soon-to-be wife and my two little fur ladies, but my family in Springfield, my family in Little Rock, in Evansville, in Illinois. Just, I don't have the time to go and see everyone the way I want. And as I get older, I realize the little time that we have, it's so important that we make the most of it. I mean, our families live all over the place. Amanda's mother lives in Florida, and we just never get a chance to be able to do any of that. I mean, we have friends all over the country, and it's time to start spending our lives, living our lives, you know? And the other reason that I kind of got out of it is because I was just getting to the point where it wasn't fun for me anymore, and the great Mahogany Knight always told me to walk away if it's not fun anymore. And it was starting to not be fun. It felt like going through the motions, and that I knew that I was half-assing it, and that's not cool. I know that I'm better than that, and I know that the audience deserves better than that. So taking the time to get to know me and get on with my life, I mean, I've realized that this transition is a big deal, but at the same time, it's made me realize that I have a lot more in my life than just this. Like, that I have so many more interesting things about me. I mean, I love drag. I love drag. I hate watching drag because it makes me anxious, and I find myself judging and critiquing, and that I'm just like, oh God, what were you thinking? No, wrong color. But I know at this point that I'm happy where I am. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to go back and do drag, 'cause I do miss it. But at the same time, I'm having a good time getting to know Josh and spending the little time I have with my family and everything like that. And I really think that the trans conversation in drag needs to stop being the elephant in the room, and for everybody to speak their mind. I mean, at that point, I mean, it's a job. And you can't form a community if your community is afraid to speak about all of its contingencies and its issues. And this is something that needs to be spoken about from both sides of the coin. And I'm not saying that there's going to ever be a end-all, be-all, this is what we're going to do, and so everybody's happy, but everybody deserves to have their voice heard, because just like the people who don't feel that there's a space at the table for trans kings, the trans kings at the same time, in order not to rock the boat, have gone without speaking up for themselves and saying, you know, myself included, I mean, I'll say it. I worked my ass off for a very long time, and it's because of people like myself and the kings that I came up with in the US of A system that there even is a US of A system. The first couple classes of kings. If it wasn't for those people, there wouldn't be a system today. And we need to acknowledge all of those issues in order to move forward. So, those are just my thoughts. Just Christ. Yeah. But Beckham, I think this is a really, really good idea. And I think there's a lot of people who have a lot of different perspectives on this. And I don't think it's just a trans man conversation. I think that everybody should be in this conversation, because we all care so deeply about that environment and about that community that if we all shaped its past, we should all help to shape its future. Belonging to one doesn't mean that the rest have no say at the table. I don't know. But I guess that's all I got. Feel free to get at me if you need anything. And that's all I got. Until later, see ya.